Hello, welcome to the France 24 newsroom. It's time now for a look at what's making the newspapers here in France this Friday with our press reviewer, Nicholas Rushworth. Hello, Nicholas.
Good morning, Lorna.
Right, so we're going to start off with a new report that's come out about that Air France crash that happened, the Rio to Paris flight, AF447, become rather infamous here in France, hasn't it?
It has, and the Le Figaro is leading on this report. It's the third report so far about the AF447, their crash de Rio-Paris, le rapport qui accuse les pilotes. So the headline there clearly pointing to pilot error. This accident took place 2 years ago, May 31st to June 1st, overnight as it was flying from Rio to Paris. Air France's only major crash, 228 people were killed. Now, the paper is saying that pilot number one was not in the cabin, he was on a rest break, and the co-pilot in charge had to deal with what was effectively the plane stalling. The speed probes seemed to be the cause of that. But the paper is saying that its look into the elements it has of this report show that the pilot in charge didn't have the training needed, nor the co-pilot. By the time pilot number one was back in the cockpit, it was too late, and of course a huge tragedy unfolded. Now the body that is looking into this, who's carrying out the report, has slammed Le Figaro, saying the paper should not confuse the circumstances of the accident with its cause, and it's asked the paper to let it get on with its job. This investigation, it says, is far from over.
Okay, and I'm sure we will see that certainly the story is far from over here in France as well. Let's move now to a paper in the south of France, because they've got a scoop, or something of a scoop, concerning that massacre in Norway.
Well, the paper is Le Dépêche du Midi in southwestern France. It's spoken to the father of Anders Behring Breivik. The father, 76-year-old Jens Breivik, lives in the Aude region of southwestern France. He's been there just for a couple of months, and he basically gives 10 minutes to the paper. He's distraught, he's lost weight, he's hung, he looks gaunt. The former diplomat says his son is a terrorist. He never wants to see him again, and he last met Anders Breivik when he was 15. Now, he says that in France, in the south of France, his neighbours have been really supportive to him, saying that they'll do his shopping and standing by him. He's obviously desperate to fend off media interest, and says to the paper that this will be the last interview he ever gives. Le Monde, too, is looking at the aftermath of what's happened in Norway. Its correspondent in Oslo talks to 18-year-old Halle Ganestad, who has inspired Norwegians with her words in a tweet. If one man is capable of so much hate, think of all the love we can generate together. And this tweet has inspired Norwegians, capturing people's hearts. And Ganestad herself wasn't at the summer camp, though she's been to several others, just 18. Of course, 68 people there killed in that rampage.
Now, Libération, the left-wing paper, they've also been reporting on events in another socialist summer camp, but this time in France.
In France, yes, they're doing a dry run for the party's primaries in October. They had to choose from bigwigs in French socialism, Léon Blum, Jean Jaurès and Pierre Mendès France. There was no vote count, too, because they were a bit embarrassed about who might win out of all those famous people. But the goal there was to see if the process of casting the ballot, whether that would go smoothly. And I'm just going to turn to another story in Le Figaro, and if I can use the word Frenchification, we've got McDonald's in France saying now that it is going to introduce the baguette to its restaurants. So from next month, not next month, September, there'll be a French breakfast with baguette and a pot of jam. So
sounds lovely. But perhaps a worry for the boulanger, maybe.
The boulanger will be worried, because they're also thinking of bringing in a baguette sandwich as well, so that will perhaps take a lot of business away from them. So,
okay, but certainly Frenchifying McDonald's a bit more. Thanks very much indeed, Nicholas, for that look at all today's French newspaper headlines. That's all from us for now. Many thanks for watching. Do stay tuned to France 24.
The road that links Karachi with Kabul is the essential link between the two cities and is used to transport most of NATO's logistical equipment. Every week, the road is also the scene of violent attacks by the Taliban on coalition convoys.
There was shooting everywhere. I saw 2 friends crash and another burnt alive in his lorry. I managed to hide behind this wall.
Our reporter travelled this road of fear from Karachi to Kabul. He brought back this exclusive footage of his journey. Reporters, today, 10:10 a.m. Paris time on France 24.